Sunday today at the races, and here Keith Fusel next to me mentioned a little bit about Artillery Gunner. We wanted to mention it because that was the second Hammy Smith Price opener that we've had this weekend, Friday and Saturday for Hammy.
Yeah, Friday kicks it off with like a $25 or $26
$28.
winner. 28. Yeah, it was a good one. Artillery Gunner opened up with money. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
We saw it, and it kind of held all the way through the betting up until post time. It just crept up to about 8-1, but a very professional debut. This horse got in some trouble out of the gate, bounced around, was able to work a clear run from the top of the stretch home, and a determined run to get it done through the final furlong. So congrats to Hammy, that ownership group. They hit the 8th pole, and you can hear that whole group, just cheering. I mean, it was
That's
great.
awesome.
So that's what it's about. You
That
get a group of friends together, buy yourself a horse, and have some fun.
That's exactly what this game is about. We bookended with another $24 winner for Farrier in the last.
Yeah.
Keith, any track biases from yesterday that you picked up at all?
Nothing terribly in particular.
I
I guess
thought-
you want to, again, be fairly close if you were within range, top of the stretch. I don't think any Artillery Gunner might have made up. Yeah, I'd say, the most ground of anybody. That was
Right.
race one. Sometimes you have that race one aberration. Everybody wants to jump the gun. But other than that, our best bet, Virginia City, was up on the lead, got it done at 7-2. She's a Rolling Stone, got in range. White Series was an interesting little price. Took a lot of play. Was 20-1 morning line, and I thought rightly so.
Right.
Took that play and this
Early
is a horse.
money.
This horse is a horse that always wants to go.
Right.
Took back and made another move to go past it 7. This horse was given away at 5.5, 4. I mean, I don't know where that race came from. Then Masakato on the nightcap, good effort, thrust in between horses. Came off that eased comment.
Yeah.
Pay attention to that, guys. Second time off the claim for Ferry, brought down Boca Chica, a little different story. He got the money, got a little Christmas money, Tony. Go buy some presents for everybody.
He's got plenty of it. Don't
He's
worry
got plenty
about
of money?
that.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, take care of the chart guys up there. We'll be nice to you.
Duly
There you
noted.
go.
I'll send the message along there. Let's open things up here with this first leg of the early pick 5 and a claiming 30,000 for the girls. 3 and up, which have never won 3-7 furlongs on the dirt. Scratch in the 7 CC Royal. You and I both go with the number 6. I'm a cutie pie in the barn in that Eubanks. Carlos Lopez. Let's take a look at that mile effort on the mud last time out.
Yeah, this was a good effort, and I'm a cutie pie. She's pretty versatile. She gets up there right up to the pace. Going to prompt Sadie the Great, who came back again yesterday, was part of the race, and I think maybe fizzled a little bit through the stretch. But I'm a cutie pie. Internal fraction's decent enough. 23, 447, one things picked up and responds to pressure here. Gets the lead, just can't fend off Peppermint Class to her outside. But I think a gritty effort nonetheless. Kelly, I think race 1 is going to be really interesting through the first quarter to 3/8 of a mile between Photo Finish and Love to Eat, the 5 for Karen. These two last time out on that sloppy sealed surface kind of went out there through very brisk internals, and Photo Finish did hold a little bit better. But if Love to Eat now moves outside, let's see. Photo Finish is going to need a good break. Her best recent number was on a off track, but I think Love to Eat might be able to spy outside, separate around the turn, and run a little bit better at an okay price, 8-1 on the morning line. But I'm looking for I'm a cutie pie to hopefully get within range and get it done from the quarter pole home.
Right, absolutely. You mentioned Love to Eat already, and but talk about with ribbons in her hair,
Yeah.
Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez coming off of the claim, off of the Keeneland 30. You have to pay attention there.
Ness with 3 winners yesterday, and he's got a bunch of live runners today. Yeah, ribbons in her hair, really had a roughed up start down at Keeneland. Made a little run, top of the stretch, had to wait, alter out. Didn't quite kick on. I think 7 furlongs is right about the limit. But I do think she's going to like the targets that she's going to see in front of her. You've got J-Rod, two winners, not next out winners. There was a next out winner. The winner came back to win, run a 72. That second place finisher came back in the same condition and ran like a mid-60 kind of a number.
Okay.
She's faced the right kind, maybe even a touch better in those races down in Kentucky. I'm definitely going to put her into the mix. 6-5-1-2.
Keith, you've been giving us late pick 4s for a while, but now you get back here. Things are looking good for the structure of an early pick 4 ticket that you give us.
Yeah, it's it's a little high. $27 again. Couldn't really narrow down anything. So we go 3x3 by 2x3. Started off with throw miss, Golden Girl Lena, I think, will be tough. And right, remember, Jerry Robb strong in race 2.
Mm-hmm.
Race 3, 3, 4, 6. Race 4, 2 deep with the 1 Matitude, the 2 Berzina. They know each other very well. And the race 5, we're going to wrap it up with the 3, 4, and 7. Look for Change My World. We got a video spotlight for that Mary Epler runner. Brittany with Alias going to take a slew of action.
Yes.
And probably be that even money, 4 to 5 range when it's all said and done. But 27. We're going to need a couple little 4, 5 to 1 shots to boost that payout.
Yeah, but it's fine. That's fine. It's just the way that the card is played out today. My Rainbow Pick 6 ticket reflects it as well. But let's get back to that first leg of your early pick 4 in this maiden claiming 12-5 for the girls going 5.5. These 2-year-olds scratching the 6. She Don't Tell. You go with the number 3, as you mentioned, Golden Girl Lena, Jerry Robb, as you mentioned, extremely strong here. Alexander Crispin trying for 3 times a charm, maybe. I
think we kind of see the main 3 contenders, in our opinion, are 1, 3, 5.
Yeah.
Rob's got 2 of them. Gold Girl Lena, Ride to Remember, come out of that same race on the 28th. They're both making their 3rd start. It's a positive ROI move for the barn. I just thought Golden Girl Lena might have had a little bit of a tougher trip, caught wide in that bigger field. Slightest of edges to maybe sit a little bit closer, save a little bit more ground. It might have a little bit more at the finish, backing up a 16th of a mile. So 3 to 5, very close. 5, Ride to Remember, might have to deal with Cuckoo on the outside, who comes in for Chapman. But I think she can survive pressure. Ride to Remember, I thought she held pretty well against the grain of the racetrack on the 28th of November, which a lot of horses came from off the pace that day to get it done. But I like your top selection here as well, Thorough Miss, if you want to talk about that one a little bit for Hammy.
It's crazy because Hammy has been it was a stat, right? It was the stats that caught my attention. Now, normally other things catch my attention. First of all, I love the fact that Hammy Smith gave this one a run at Timonium just to get out there, get the experience, bring it back. We're still holding on our basics here. World of Trouble, 16 for 71 with his second-time starters, 23%. Hammy Smith, 7 for 12 in the money, 3 of those winners, second-time start. That's a stat you have to. When Hammy winds up, you've got to start paying attention. And of course, first after the layoff, Hammy's been hitting home with that 36%, 9 for 25.
Yeah, and out of that race, a couple horses have come back to win since. She was, just got herself too far back. It's hard to make up 10 likes, once you under the turn at Timonium going anytime. But she finished up okay, and I like the finish. The only thing about where has she been and the quick plummet. You can get away with it, I guess, with that 18 buyer. But she is definitely a user for me in race number 2. So 3, 5, 1, 2. 1, 3, 5, 7. We're keying around those 3
Absolutely.
in race 2. Yep.
Race number 3, second leg there in Keith's early pick 4, is a starter optional 20,000 going 5.5 on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. No scratches here, Keith. Let's talk about and let's look at the number 3 Magic Spin. You and I both have this one here. Last time out here on the 6th of October.
Yeah, this is a gelding that's held pretty good form. He's had a little break from June to August. Tried the turf, came back to this race on October the 6th at a good number because its previous try at Laurel wasn't the greatest, but got back on form and is able to kind of grind it out late to hold on just by a desperate nose over Group Hug, who we're going to see here right there in the black cap in the middle, gets command. Group Hug making that charge. And to the inside, also in the black cap with the orange silks, is Sugar Steve. And we know how that horse has come back and recently ran a big 87 buyer. But Kieran claimed and gives a little bit of a break, and that's why we like this one. Last 3 years on the dirt, 7 for 18 is Kieran. 39% strike rate. First off the claim and coming back after a 61 to 180-day layoff. ROI, it's really good, 370. He's going to have to be on his game. Toledo said, hey, let's get back on this horse if we can.
Absolutely.
They got back. There's some speed to the outside. Irish Warlock, Whiskey and You. He's orientate where that race came from last time. But congrats, Nancy Heil, 1,000,000 to 1. Got it done. I think he's versatile enough. He's going to have to deal with Irish Warlock and Whiskey and You definitely up front. They're both quick enough. Irish Warlock, he's run some big races and moved into the teeth some okay flows.
Right.
Caught a really hot horse at Charlestown last time. But I think Magic Spin just might be able to eke it out at a shorter price. Group Hug, though, for Jamie Ness. Mile turn back. I like that. This horse has run well 7 to 5.5 in the
Right.
past. A little
That's
extended there off the last race in a
correct.
mile. This horse is going to
Yeah.
like the targets up front. Whiskey, and you're going to try to get it done. Has just 7/8's too far. They brought this horse off of a break. The 7-year-old gelded. Ran a couple okay races. If you just throw out that last number, and that's probably due to the 7/8.
They slammed him. They sent him up there
Yeah.
on the off-going, and I mean, he doesn't exactly love a wet dirt anyway to
Yeah.
begin with. So they might have used that one off of the spacing just to kind of get a race in him a little bit.
And he was right there to mid-stretch. So that's
Right.
at 3/4 into the race at 7/8. He can track from just off of it. You're rooting for the smaller outfits like a Terry Overmeyer and a Roy Peacock to get one done, especially here at Christmas time. So 3, 4, 6, 5, tricky little race, but we'll lean Magic Spin. Yep.
And there we have it. Oh, also wanted to discuss race number 3 does
Okay.
kick off that Rainbow
Yeah.
Pick 6. In fact, I did it. I got my template wrong. So let's go ahead and cover that Rainbow Pick 6 before we get into race 4.
Okay.
As it does, just to remind you guys, it does start in race 3. But we have a nice carryover coming into that. It's going to be 6-7 grand by the time we get there. Taking a look at my ticket really quickly, I was surprised on how I was able to keep it manageable for $24. I go ahead and I take it. We'll get to year 7 that I end up singling on in a bit later. But race number 6, man, that is a proper jackpot super high 5 if I ever saw one. Got a little bit of help that I think in my just overall selections that this one we had the couple entries scratched. I was considering really throwing that number 8 as a value play amongst my picks, but I just decided to hold off. But just keep in mind that there's some potential there in the number 8 there in race number 6. $24 ticket. I'll dive into that in the afternoon. Starts in race number 4 here, or starts in race number 3 as we move on to race number 4 in a starter optional 30,000 going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. Keith, you and I both have the number 2 on top in Berzina for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, Berzina, she got back on her winning ways. I don't think she really cared for that inside trip at Delaware 2 races back. She's protected now, which is a little bit of a tell for me, Ness.
Right.
You try to get a read off of these guys, but she's kind of a mare that you can go with, be aggressive with, or take back. I mean, there's some really fast horses to her outside. Empress Diona, super, super quick, and No Easy Answer. Both these horses come in from PA. Scott Lake and Aaron McClellan. Aaron McClellan's had some good luck down here the last couple of months. But I think Berzina, off of that last race, got a lot out of it. He's going to be able to kind of sit just off of it and make that move. She's shown the versatility in the past. Now, her nemesis has been Matitude, the horse to the inside of her. And Matitude's gotten the better of her quite a few times, but is Berzina just in a little bit sharper form? But one thing in Matitude's favor here is she's coming back to a fast main track and getting the combination of fast track and Lasix. The last time she had that combo, she won. She won back in June. A good effort, beating Berzina by a length and a quarter. I think Tori Alva's going to slide this one right up just off the pace, try to track and move into it.
And there we have it. 2-1, the race kind of does roll through there. But let's talk about the number 6 in Royal Whisper, who might be a little bit of a dark horse in here. I agree with you, Keith, here. Mikey Gore and Raul Mena, last time out watching on the 2nd of November.
Well, Royal Whisper in the gate.
Oh, that was so rough.
They don't get along too well. She moves outside here to the 6th. But any chance we can get her loaded last, guys? I don't know. But look, comes out of there, a little rank, steadied to the inside, and gave up, 3-4 lengths, 5 within the first 50, 60 yards. But I tell you what, she kept trying. She checked after the early beginning, 3-4 wide around the turn. But this finish is okay. Our Liberty Bell came back to run well. She's been run well at 6 furlongs in the past. She's going to have targets. Let's just hope she can escape the gate and get out cleanly and have a good, safe opening furlong. Then she can settle, because I think she's going to bring a run against this group. And I do think Bound by Destiny, turning back in distance off the layoff, is a player. I know Dave Robin, we had talked about this one a little bit the other day when he thought he was maybe going to fill it for me. We got our schedules messed up. But Bound by Destiny, a Rod Dog user here, and I think she's just fine sprinting against this group.
Agreed. I also wanted to highlight that the late pick 5 did start here in race number 4. We have a lovely carryover. That'll be, I'm going to guess, 10 grand by the time we get to race number 4, hoping for that. But we will be right back after this commercial break to discuss the rest of Sunday's card. Welcome back, of course. Not only do we start the late pick 4 here in race number 5, we also, we'll get to the rainbow pick 6 or the jackpot super high 5. So many pools that we've got going on here, but this does start the late pick 4 as well in this maiden special weight, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. For the 2-year-old, scratching the rail horse, Tiny Lake. You have the number 7. Change My World here on the outside for Mary Epler with the weight off. Let's take a look. Georgie was on here on the 16th of November.
Mary Epler. Yeah, this horse had a kind of really interesting race. The debut was good. Bumped around at the break. We're going to see this, maybe a little bump, and then has to kind of move up inside. I like this acceleration that Change My World shows. Then is able to rate back. I mean, 2 or 3 different moves. And I talked to Mary after the race. I said, man, you got a lot of 5/8 works into this horse. He looked like he was ready to go, and he was. The family is good, purely hot, T-Sizzle. But he takes some adversity as well. Works outside here, some more adversity, I should say. Bounced around, pinballed at the 3/16, and never, ever gives up. Now, to the far outside in the maroon silks, I guess, there in the cap, is Smuggler's Gold. That horse ran pretty well, too, into that flow. Caught 5-6 wide before flattening out late. But Changed My World maybe just a little bit better. Look at the determination. Put the head down and kept running. Draws outside today. A good break. Can relax and sit just off the pace maybe or go. I think Built by Kozan is quick. Smuggler's Gold with the blinkers possibly could go. But a little bit of an edge here to Change My World. Better price because this 4-horse, we've got a video of Alias, your top selection. This was an interesting debut, to say the least, back September at Belmont at Aqueduct. Bump break, drop back turn. Does drop back, right? We're going to pick this one up. This is the 5. And watch the hands of one Jose Lescano. Just watch his hands. This is all we got to do. Sitting there, chilly. I guess trying to get this guy to gather himself back up.
Correct.
Because he wasn't maybe –
Get him on the bed.
Yeah, just maybe he didn't feel like he was focused or traveling the best. I don't know, but he kind of works outward here and now decides to go at the last 3/16 of a mile and rolls up pretty good. Runaway winner in Vacoma Rides, but good test drive there for Alias, and I think Alias coming back in here. Interesting, though, you're running for definitely a little bit lighter price. Why the change? But we're coming in here to a barn that goes great guns, maiden special weights, first time in the barn, over 35, right around 35% when it's all said and done. So Alias, let's see if he can stay focused early, and if he does, it could be lights out.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like especially what I love is that she hasn't even put the blinkers on.
Yeah.
Which I could see her doing in this kind of move with this particular individual, but with the works coming in as they are, with her not putting the blinkers on, that says everything to me.
Yeah. If he's focused and ready to go, he's going to be extremely tough in here. But I like the grittiness of Change My World in that debut. And looking at the family, I like the family. Mary, I know she hasn't run a slew of horses, the maidens here of late, but over the last couple of years, she's 2 for 8, 3 for 8 second-time starters. So 7, 3, 4, Smuggler's Gold we touched upon. Farouk is interesting. Katie Voss with a decent percentage off a smaller sample, positive ROI. 15% is McLean's Music on the top side with the 2-year-old first-time starters. Good family. Galerio, who we touched upon. Giselle ran a good race yesterday.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, 7, 3, 4, 2 in the 5th.
There we go, off to the jackpot super high 5 race, of course, always in race number 6. And this is a nice allowance optional 40. I think, to me, the field is you can make a lot of arguments for some in this field, especially going the second wire finish in the 1-turn mile here, scratching the coupled entry of the 1A. Just call Ray. You go with the number 2. Let's talk and look about Mind Tap. Brittany and Sheldon Russell. We're taking a look at that layoff. Last time we saw this one, late March.
Yeah, again, this is a like, not a love, but just, man, a knock.
Not pretty.
Broke inward, maybe calls his own. He looks like he goes in a little bit, and the 2 comes out, and he got the worst of it. Really roughed up out of the break. He recovers, though, does his son of Tap It for Brittany Russell, and makes a pretty good run. Sheldon's got this one in hand, traveling well past the 3/8 to the 5/16, and then ends up getting bounced around a couple times in the stretch, but I thought he might bring just a little bit more, but I guess that's a tough ask. you kind of knocked around at the break, and then to just make this long, sustained run. I saw this yesterday with a horse I liked in the last race. Divine Child had that awkward beginning, made a long run inside before flattening out. And right here, there it was. Five gave him a good little kiss, right?
And, yeah.
And look at Sheldon. He said, "Nuh-uh,
He
no
said
more,
enough. He's
no
like,
more,
enough.
no
We're
more.
done.
We're done. We're
Yeah.
packing it in, waiting for another
I would be as
day."
well. Yeah.
But
Save
no,
'em.
yeah. So hasn't been seen, but returns as
Right.
a gelding. All right, off 260 days. Well, this guy won off a 417-day break in the past, so we know he can run well off of a layoff. Brittany off of these long layoffs going a route, she's fine. It's talking about the gelding angle.
Yeah.
3 for 11, 6 for 11, first time gelding,
Okay.
and off more than 180 days the last few years. A lot of signs, point towards mind tap, and you might see a horse, if he gets back to that 88 buyer version, he's got some steady works to lead into it. He could be tough. Now, there's not a slew of speed in here. When you look at the race, maybe your get set goes. The one, Goodbye Note was used hard to get the lead on that muddy surface at 2 turns. Ran huge for Annie. Can he bring that race back? But I kind of like Manor House a little bit. The 5,
I could
the,
see
the
that.
9.
Yeah.
This horse 0 for 2 on an off track. Caught the off track last time. Didn't run a step. Coming back to a 1-turn mile. He likes the mile distance. He's 3 for 6. He's done well down at Gulfstream at a 1-turn mile and ran here. I think he spies the speed and going to be real tough if this surface stays fast today with a Rojo 2.951. Your analysis is just steady. He can work out a trip and sustain a grinding run.
Like steady there. And going on to race number 7, just in our feature race of the day. This is a restricted allowance going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt.
Yeah.
And no scratches here. Let's talk. Full Irish. We both land on this one on the outside for Kieran McGee. Tracks Toledo, which always kind of gets my attention a little bit.
Yeah. Full Irish, real good last time. That was first off the claim, so he's been claimed 2 in a row. Blinkers came off. They took the blinkers off, did Brittany, and this horse was down inside. Speeds did go 1, 2, 3 in this race for the most part. He handled pressure, outer pressure from a pretty good horse in Point Doom. That was a former Kieran runner, but comes first off the claim. We're going to jump up. I like the placing here in the first level. State bred, state sired, allowance, hooking up with Sheffield Stable. They're always tough. I think they're 26% together over the last couple years. Interesting. He's been on the front end doing his work, but he's shown way back on the debut to come from behind. Cattivo Ragazzo very fast to the inside. Even Intrepid's Legacy brings some speed to the table. We'll see if Full Irish wants to go or prompt. I think he can win it either way if he comes anywhere close to that most recent race. I'm looking for some values underneath. You've got the 4 as well. SS Sinatra. Let's take a look at that race. That was the Laddie Dance race on November the 30th.
Yes.
And that was kind of a nightmarish trip as well for SS Sinatra. In between horses, or I'm sorry, down inside right into the turn. And whoop, there's the shuffle, the check, and gives up about 3 or 4 lengths there from the half mile to about the 3/8. This horse is going to gather itself back up and makes another run in between horses, past the 5/16 to the quarter and into the stretches. That duel develops. There's Cattivo Ragazzo into the inside battling. Makes this little run and has to pause again. Nowhere to go for SS Sinatra. We're going to alter course again.
And
keeps on grinding there, Cal, and runs really, really big. Cattivo Ragazzo ran still well in defeat. Won the battle, just unfortunately lost the war. That one's going to be a pace factor again. But I like the toughness there that SS Sinatra displayed.
Very game, very game. And, when horses just get that opportunity to finally get through kind of a wider set rail on that, they really move forward off of that. So that's where I see this one just kind of really being placed well here.
Kings River, first try. Well, no, he's run a couple times against Older. I shouldn't say that. But bobbled in close start in that most recent race where they kind of carousel right around the track. Procession, November 15th, the Full Irish race. Second off of a break, though. Look at that stat for Linda Albert, 27% with a 488 ROI. I think he's going to like the flow. I like this horse coming right back at 6 to make a stronger run off the pace today.
Absolutely. Let's go on to our finale here of the weekend in this claiming 20,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won going 1.16 miles. 2 turns on the dirt here, no scratches. Keith, on the inside, Master Munnings, Jamie Ness, Michael Sanchez trying the dirt for the first time here.
They combined for some winners yesterday.
They
Yeah,
did.
first time dirt. Munnings, yes, any surface, dirt, great. I mean, that's not a problem whatsoever. Bottom side, the mare, every one of her starts but one was on the main track, and I think she was a multiple winner. Second dam, all dirt, topped at a 107.
Okay.
Yet this horse was synth and turf.
Yep.
Obviously, they probably know a lot more than I, but I'm going to just take a shot. If this horse
Why
holds
not?
any kind of the numbers to what he had on the turf, he can get it done. Last 3 years, Ness, 7 for 20, 35%. First off the claim and going turf to dirt inside post helps. Secret Treasure, yes, good race back down in Florida. I think this horse is going to transition synth back to the main track for Trombi. Probably gets a prompting trip. I guess the speed is return fire. And there's Villalobos. When he
Right.
shows up late in the card, pay attention.
Yeah.
Villalobos riding here for Rudy Sanchez Salomon, 1-5-3-4. I know we got short on time, Cal.
And there we have it. Keith, let's turn back to your best bet that we just saw just last race. Let's go. Let's recover for those who are late watching here for full Irish for Kieran McGee and JV and Toledo. First off of the claim.
Yeah, first off the claim off a really gutsy performance. Had a lot of pressure from a fast horse in Point Doom, a multiple winner, was able to edge away late. Draws outside today. I like the placing right here to the first level allowance. If Katiba Ragazzo wants to go, this horse can go ahead and prompt. If not, if he takes control early, it could be over.
And there we go. Also wanted to highlight that Rosecroft also has a mandatory payout on the 18th. They will, or the 16th, excuse me. They have a so they have a carryover of the 21 on Monday, but just a reminder, they also have that mandatory payout on the 18th as well. So if you have extra from playing today, you know exactly where it should go for this holiday season, and we will take it to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.